Hello there, YouTube. I am Necrostevo, and welcome to another battle here in the NBBL Lowtier League. Our opponent this week is Zacmander and the Canadian Cerule Edges. To our battle, Zacmander is bringing Gengar, Clefable, Mandibuzz, Entei, Blastoise, Flygon, Lucario, Electros, Terrachimecho, and Terra Servine. Best of luck to our opponent Zacmander. Let's briefly get into what the Shadows are bringing for this matchup. On the Shadows team, we have our choice-banded Lycanroc Dusk. There is nothing on his team that is not 2-hit KO'd by Stone Edge in close combat, and once things get into range, I can just click a Cell Rock. Sucker Punch is just there in case something gets a little bit of a boost, like the Flygon, or even the Gengar, maybe Choice Scarf, and I'll still be able to outspeed and hit it. Swalot is our dedicated lead this week. Swalot has coverage for basically everything here. It was a tough choice between Sludge Bomb, Toxic, Gunk Shot, Poison Jab, but we decided to go with Sludge Bomb, Ice Beam, Earthquake, and Knockoff, because with this investment, I am guaranteed to live any hit from the Flygon, unless it's at +1, and it allows me to be a generally good sponge, switching into his special attackers. Generally, I'm going to lead off with Swalot, expecting him to lead with his Electros, and click Knockoff, because I expect that the Mandibuzz or something else is going to try to swap in to absorb that knockoff. After that, we have our Weakness Policy Drifblim with Unburden. Unburden allows us to double our speed if we lose our item, and when we look at Zacmander's team, you can see several opponents that might trigger that weakness policy. It could be an Ice Beam from the Blastoise. It could be a Rock move from Flygon. Thunderbolt from Gengar. Like, there are just a lot of different ways that we could see it, so we're going in weakness policy here. I really wanted to go Mirror Herb and swap it into Blastoise, but the chance that the Mirror Orb will get activated against the Flygon, I don't really want to deal with that, or even like if Clefable's trying to set up, I don't want that either. I don't want that type of boost. We are going to go with Calm Mind, Air Slash, Shadow Ball, and Strength Sap, because if we don't get the weakness policy, we still need to be able to boost up and do some damage, and Strength Sap will just help keep us healthy. Our next Pokemon on the team is Araquanid, which is going to be physically defensive this week with Liquidation, Sticky Web, Rest, and Infestation. General catch-all switch into Blastoise, and it does great versus the Flygon as well. Liquidation with an adamant nature, even with no investment, does pretty good damage across the team, and with Rest and a Chesto Berry, we'll be able to keep ourselves healthy. Even if I end up using the Araquanid to deal with something like the Blastoise, number one, Liquidation, if he's like an offensive Blastoise, does over 25% every time I use it, and Infestation can help us chip away at him as well. But yeah, Araquanid is just kind of here to be an annoying pivot, and if I need to, I can get up my Sticky Webs. The last two members of the team are Yuxi and Sandslash, our Wombo combo. Sandslash is going to be our Sand Rush, Terra Fairy. Oh, by the way, Swalot is Terra Fairy as well. But Sandslash here has Earthquake, Terra Blast, Swords Dance, and Spikes. And Yuxi has a Smooth Rock with Psychic Noise, Stealth Rock, Memento, and Sandstorm. So at the point where either I need to get Sandslash in early and put things into range for my Lycanroc, or Lycanroc can break early and then I can bring in Yuxi instead of the Sandstorm later, Memento out, and allow Sandslash to hopefully sweep. But with Terra Fairy and a Swords Dance, once again, I can at least 2-hit KO every single thing on his team. Even things like the Mandibuzz don't want to take +2 Terra Fairy, Terra Blast. I have Terra Fairy on the Swalot just in case something goes crazy wrong, but our general target for our terrestrialization will be our Sandslash. So, let's get into the battle. Okay, and it is time for the battle. We can see that Zacmander has brought the Lucario, Gengar. Okay, so he brought Lucario and Entei. I really thought that'd be one or the other there. We don't see the Flygon, which is fine by me. And I was correct on Mandibuzz versus Blastoise too, so I figured it'd be one or the other there. So that means no Terras on his end. So we are going to stick with our general game plan. I do think he'll have some sort of ground coverage on his Entei. I think he gets Stomping Tantrum. I don't think Entei gets high horsepower, but this should allow me to answer anything that he leads off with. Again, I'm just expecting it to be the Electros. So we're just going to go with that Swalot lead, and then hopefully be clicking Knockoff. Now, Knockout, of course, will deprive something of its item, and I don't think he really has anything here that wants to lose an item. He's not going to swap Clefable into there, and so we do see the Electros on the lead, which is great. So even if he wants to Volt Switch here, that is still going to be something that we can deal with. So I could also Sludge Bomb here. I don't think he'd go out into Lucario immediately. But yeah, we're just going to continue with our general knockoff play here and save a little bit of time there on the timer. Now let's see what he goes for first. You guys may have noticed that this is a live commentary. I don't normally do these, so I'm pretty happy to be trying this out here. We see the Thunder Punch, that doesn't do that much damage, and we knock off his Assault Vest, which is great. That Thunder Punch didn't do that much damage, honestly. I'm really tempted to Sludge Bomb here. If he's going to go for a Thunder Punch, we could bring in Yuxi and get up our rocks. That could be a possibility here. But I also think if he has Thunder Punch, then he might have Leech Life. So let's try a Sludge Bomb now that he no longer has that. He does try a knockoff. That does not work because I have Sticky Hold. Unfortunately, that do take a little bit more damage, but I'm happy that I didn't bring Yuxi in there, and then we do get the poison on the Electros, which is great. That is exactly what I wanted to see. Now, in an effort here to conserve HP on this Pokemon, I think he might swap here, honestly. Is he going to swap here? Because he's going to want this later. He can't really get HP back against this Pokemon. So a knockoff here might be good to swap up into it. Let's try it out. Aha! So he does switch out here. And so something else is going to lose its item. I did not go for Sludge Bomb on the off chance he tries to bring in the Lucario. I could have called it with an Earthquake, but I'd rather knock off the Mandy Buzz's item if that's what he brings in. Oh, he brings in the Entei, so actually I would have preferred to go for Sludge Bomb right there. But let's see what the Entei is holding. It has Choice Band. Okay, so that's a lot less damage potential coming from the Entei. Entei definitely could have a ground coverage move here. Let's take a quick peek at Entei's moveset just to make sure. And then I would welcome some feedback if you all end up liking the live commentary. Where I am in my life right now, I just needed a little bit more flexibility to that, because there's a lot of editing that goes into the other way when I do the post-con with my editor. And so this allows me to do this without necessarily having to do it that way, so yeah. Generally, I think that Araquanid is a great swap in here. I could also bring in my Drifblim. But yeah, if he's just going to go for a fire type move, Araquanid should be able to take any hits here, honestly. So we're going to save our Swalot for later and go out here. Now, Entei does get Stone Edge, so he could go for that here. Without the Choice Band, I'm not as worried there. He does go for the Stone Edge. That did a ton of damage because it was a crit. Okay, so that's unfortunate. I was going to say I could take 2 of those, but not anymore. So that was a very good Stone Edge on his part. If I had stayed in with Swalot there, that would not have KO'd my Swalot. Now, I don't think there's much I can do from this position, unfortunately. Well, this might be actually the time to try to get our weakness policy here. He's probably not going to go for another Stone Edge right away. He's probably going to go for maybe Extreme Speed or a Fire type move maybe. So let's try to get Drifblim in on the weaker move, which is the Extreme Speed. And this should bait him to go ahead and go for the Stone Edge is what I'm hoping. We are just going to go for Strength Sap because this will cover him going for Stone Edge. I'll get my weakness policy and I'll get my my stats back. Or if he swaps out, then I'll lower the attack of whatever is coming in. So we're going to Strength Sap first. He goes for Sacred Fire. Okay, not what I wanted to see necessarily, but this means that I'll be able to take the next hit very, very well. And he's not going to be doing very much damage to me. This should bring me back up to full health. I don't think that he's going to stay in now, is the issue. So, Entei gets, he has Stone Edge, Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed. Yeah, that last move is, it could be, no, I don't think he'd do Trailblaze. I'm not sure what that last move would be. Honestly, it might be better here to try to throw off a move to catch something coming in. I think I am going to go for Shadow Ball, predicting the Electros to try to come back in here. So we're going to try that out. Alright, so Zachmander does withdraw the Entei. And he goes out into... Oh, this is a new Pokemon. It's Goki. Oh, it's the Mandibuzz. I do wish I had gone for the Air Slash there because I would have done a little bit more damage. This shouldn't give him too much information. I do get a special defense drop, which is great. He might just go for Toxic here. If he goes for Knockoff, he will activate my weakness policy, which would be fantastic, honestly. But now the Entei is at least a little bit chipped down in the event where I have to hit it with Sand Slash, which would be very nice. Shadow Ball. I'm very tempted here to just Calm Mind. Because if he knocks off... Or I could just Air Slash him. I think I need to Calm Mind to get enough damage out of the turn. So we're going to Calm Mind. Oh, he's doubling. Okay. So he's going to go out into Dex in the... Oh, okay. Okay. So here is another way that I potentially could get my weakness policy activated, which is really, really nice. So once again, we get that little boost here. We know that he does not have an item. At +1 with no Assault Vest, I honestly should KO him. He honestly might be slower than me, though. Electros is very slow. Seeing the physical move, too, we saw Thunder Punch U-turn and Knockoff. I don't think he'd have Coil in that last slot. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be faster than him. I think I am going to Strength Sap once here. Because if he goes for a Knockoff or he goes for the Thunder Punch, I'll get that activated. So we're going to Strength Sap once, which will also lower how much damage he does, which will also give me my Unburden. He just U-turns. Okay, that's fine by me. He came in and took a round of poison. And he probably knows that I am not... he probably knows at this point that I'm weakness policy. So, I think from here on out, I can assume that I can just throw off attacks, because he's going to do his best to not hit me with a super effective attack. We see the Gengar come in, which is very interesting. I wish I had gone for another Calm Mind. If this is a Specs Gengar, it honestly probably still kills me. I do have good investment here for my special attack. I have like 80 special attack. If he's Life Orb, he could kill me. I am going to Shadow Ball first. Gengar is one of the things I need to move immediately. Now, if he's Specs, we could be in a situation. Okay, so that Gengar is Specs because he knocked me out, which is unfortunate, but I might have an opportunity here to set something up. So since Gengar is Specs, what do we want to do with this opportunity? Man, I really didn't want to see Specs there. He had to have been Specs to KO me at +1 SpDef. So, I'm pretty sure a Specs Shadow Ball is going to do enough damage. Swalot might be right out of range. I could just go right into Lycanroc and go for Sucker Punch. But you can easily swap out the Gengar is the issue. Not having my HP on my Araquanid truly sucks. So that's not great. Let's try the Sucker Punch. Because I guess Sucker Punch isn't great if he swaps out. This is also risking a speed tie if I go for the Stone Edge. But he also has nothing to really take the Stone Edge. Like, he could go out to Lucario. I think he actually might swap here, because he's not going to want to risk the 50-50. So we're going to Stone Edge, assuming he's going to swap out. He does swap out. Who does he bring in? Alright, so we do see the Electros come back in, so this should take it out very easily. Alrighty, so that is Electros down. So if I get an opportunity to set up my Sticky Web, that'll be very useful against that Gengar. I forgot to make a note that my Drifblim was KO'd by Gengar. And the Electros was KO'd by my Lycanroc. Alrighty. Alright, so we see the Clefable come out now. And honestly, against Clefable, since he brought it out here, he's probably going to set up an entry hazard, is what I would expect to happen here. The obvious swap-in is my own Swalot. But I'm very tempted to go ahead and get my rocks up, especially now that I know that the Entei does not have the capability to hold an item anymore, thanks to me knocking it off earlier. He could also go for Thunder Wave. Yeah, we're gonna go out into my Yuxi, expecting him to put up his rocks. Or should I go out into this immediately? If he puts up rocks, then my Araquanid will be dead on arrival because I have no way to remove those hazards. So yeah, let's try to get an Araquanid on a rocks turn is what we're going to attempt here. And then maybe I can go for rest. So we're going to hope for those rocks. Oh no, he just goes straight for the Moonblast. Unfortunate. Araquanid, I am sorry, buddy. You did not get to do what I deigned you to do in this battle here. So Araquanid gets KO'd by Clefable. And, okay, well, we have an opportunity here to... Number one, I don't think that Moonblast would have KO'd my Lycanroc. Unless he's like Life Orb, Magic Guard. He could totally be something like that. But yeah, he would not have even been close. Now let's assume that he were Life Orb, Magic Guard. It looks like that would do... Life Orb Magic Guard has a chance to KO my Lycanroc, so that is very interesting. We are going to get this opportunity to go out here and put up our rocks, I believe is what we need to do. Now that we have confirmed that the Gengar is Specs, we want the rocks up, and I also think right afterwards I can go ahead and go for Sandstorm and Memento is going to be what works out here. So rocks first. And the other nice thing here is that I can always pivot out into Swalot. I could have brought in Swalot right here, but I really want to get the rocks up now, and I can always swap back to Swalot and bring Yuxi back in. So is this probably going to be the Gengar? No? Mario fan, that's the Entei. Okay, I am okay with seeing the Entei here. This Yuxi has a mixed defensive investment, so I should be able to take any singular hit from the Entei. The Entei should also outspeed me, which is going to be of note, because that will allow me to get up the Sandstorm and then Memento out. Now, the other thing I can do here is I can just hard swap, but I really don't like that. We know he probably just has max attack with that Choice Band, and so we're going to pull up that Choice Band and get rid of it. Look at me running damage calcs here. Okay, so this against my Yuxi. Oh yeah, we absolutely take the hits there. Yeah, let's get up our Sandstorm and see what the Entei wants to do. He does just go straight for Sacred Fire. We take that very comfortably. Excellent. No burns on these Sacred Fires. It's the second time he's used it. So this is one. get a little bit of chip with the Sandstorm, and now we Memento out. So let's take a look at his team here. He has Gengar, which has not taken any damage, Clefable, which has not taken any damage, Entei, taken about 25%, Lucario has not hit the field yet, Electros is KO'd, and Mandibuzz has taken maybe 10% from that Shadow Ball earlier. So I do think we are in a position to where we can Memento now and try to set up with our Sand Slash. So he's going to Sacred Fire again. It won't KO. Still no burn, but we Memento over. And this should scare out the Entei, because I am a Life Orb Sand Slash. So this should very, very easily scare away Entei into going like, oh, I don't want to be on the field to handle this. Honestly, he should just swap directly into the Mandibuzz is what I would expect him to do. So yeah, we're going to go right on out to our Sand Slash here. And he's at -2 attack. I am risking the burn, but I do think I need the Swords Dance pressure here. Yeah, and we've seen what? We've seen Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed, and Stone Edge. So we haven't seen that last move on the Entei yet, but I do think I can pretty comfortably just go straight for Sword Stance here, because he should swap out to something, I'd imagine. We don't need a Terra just yet, but if he goes out to Mandibuzz, I have the Terra. Oh, he stays in. Okay, so he's going to go for the burn here is what he's trying to do. In which case, if he does burn me, I will go for another Swords Dance. I'm hoping he doesn't burn me. He does not burn me, which is excellent. Okay, so now he's going to go for the Extreme Speed, most likely. Now, if I get another Swords Dance, so I had Smooth Rock on my Yuxi, so I have 5 turns remaining of the Sandstorm. If I get to +4, now the other thing is Clefable could just be unaware, but because he just brought it in and went for the offensive move the way that he did, I think that he is actually Magic Guard on that Pokemon. So yeah, we're just going to Earthquake here and try to put as many things as possible into range of my Lycanroc. That's going to be the path forward, I believe. Because I don't want to give him another chance to burn me. So yeah, we're just going to Earthquake. This should easily KO Entei. Perfect. Great job, Sand Slash. So Entei is going to go down here, KO'd by my Sand Slash. And now he knows that I'm Life Orb as well. The other reason to carry the Terra Fairy here so that he can't go for foul play with his Mandibuzz. I considered other Terra types like Terra Ice and things like that, but those were all kind of because of the Flygon, and I felt like with Drifblim and the Araquanid I had enough for the Flygon, so I did not actually end up going in that direction. Now this is going to be the Mandibuzz again. Okay, so Mandibuzz is heavy duty boots. I was hoping it was not, but here we will Terra into our Fairy type and see how much damage we can do with this Terra Blast. He also, I could see him roosting here to try to stall out my my Sandstorm, but this right here, if he's specially defensive, this can KO him. If he's physically defensive, it will be a 2-hit KO because he did not take the rocks damage. So that is kind of what I'm expecting here. We're just going to go right for that very glorious, illustrious Terra Blast. Yes. Boom. Oh, wow. So he was especially defensive Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz goes down immediately to that Terra Blast, which is great. Now notice how there he did not go out to the Clefable. To me, that indicates that it might be that Life Orb set or even Magic Guard like I expected there. So I have a few more turns of my Sand left here. I should have 3 more turns left. He has 3 Pokemon left. So this will be great. The other thing that I was surprised by is that he didn't go for the chip damage with the Extreme Speed with the Entei after he didn't burn me with the Sacred Fire. Because that plus the additional damage coming in from like Lucario could potentially have put me in range there. Lucario could also have Bullet Punch, which is going out to Clefable here. Okay. So Clefable, of course, we're just going to go straight for that Earthquake and see how much damage it does. Oh, we get a crit. That might have mattered. Zachmander, I believe that crit mattered. And as much as I totally intended to take your Pokemon soul right there, I'm going to be absolutely hitting you up afterwards to see if that crit mattered there. Now we see that Lucario comes in, and I believe this is my last turn of sand. Nope, I have 2 more turns left. Perfect. So yep, we're just going to Earthquake here. If he's Life Orb, he could totally KO me with an Extreme Speed. But let's see what he has here. He has the Bullet Punch. Okay, so I could have swapped out of there. Alas. Okay, but perfect though. If he goes for Bullet Punch right there, then that means I'm going to go out to my Swalot. And, yeah, we'll kind of go from here. Oh, he is Life Orb. So, Bullet Punch will probably KO. Oh, that might be game. Yeah, Araquanid getting critical hit earlier is coming back to bite me big time here. I think I have to try to go Swalot first, right? Because I don't think that I can take the hit here if he's Life Orb. A Life Orb Bullet Punch going into like my Lycanroc. Oh, it looks like I barely take the hit. So, interesting position that we're in here. I think I have to try to take the hit and close combat him back, and then swap back is what I have to do here. I think that's going to have to be what I try to do here. He could double to Gengar. This is kind of a 50-50. So he could double back to Gengar right now. But I don't think he would. I think he would just Bullet Punch. Right? Yeah. Yes, so that's what he does. It says it does 96%, but he gets a crit. So, ah, man. So that was the revenge crit for the Mandibuzz is what happened there. But on the calc here, if he's Adamant Life Orb, it says it does 96% to my Lycanroc. So the plan was to go out to my Lycanroc, live barely, and then hopefully be able to switch into Swalot on the Gengar. That was the general plan, rather. Alas, that kind of sucks. So here, maybe the better plan would have been to go directly out into Swalot, because then it would have been Swalot going down. I don't know. Since I knew I was guaranteed to live the crit, I didn't see the purpose in kind of doing it that way. But maybe that was a misplay and a throw on my part at the end. There is no specific way to tell there. But this Specs Gengar is going to be what ends up ending this battle off here, because I can't take this hit with this low HP. I am very specially bulky. But unfortunately, that is going to be the game. Zach Mender, thank you so much for the battle. I enjoyed it. You didn't get any burns with your Sacred Fire, but boy were there a lot of crits in this battle. That's going to be it from me. Guys, let me know if you enjoyed the live commentary format. This is not my style. However, we are here. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful night. And the sweetest of dreams. Goodbye.